OBB, the Austrian rail company, has a legendary reputation where 97% of trains are on time. A small and mountainous country, Austria doesn't have a truly high-speed train like the AVE, ICE, Frecciarossa, or TGV. Instead, they have the railjet. And boy, does the railjet sure have its fans.
The railjet service is a fucking masterpiece. It represents the absolute peak of regular, non-high-speed distance rail traffic in Europe. Fuck the ICE4, fuck the Pendolino, it's all about the railjet.
Well then, that's quite the high bar there. How does it stack up in reality? Let's find out. The railjet has 3 classes: economy, first, and business. Yes, business is higher than first class, I don't know why. It was my goal to review all 3 on this trip. There's also the ability to reserve seats in economy or first class for a fee, and it's free to do so in business. My first experience with a railjet was in economy from the airport to downtown Vienna, a trip of only 15 minutes. I'm not really going to count that since the trip was so short, but it arrived on time and was perfectly fine. The railjet is comprised of 7 coaches that are permanently connected. There's a Siemens Euro Sprinter at one end and a control car at the other. There's an economy cabin for families, a quiet car, and a dining car. While they predominantly run on the Vienna to Innsbruck route, they also go to Zurich, Venice, Budapest, Munich, and even Frankfurt and Prague. The Czech Railways is also ordering them for their own fleet and run them all the way to Berlin. I arrived at the Vienna station just after 6 a.m. for my trip in first class to Attnang-Puchheim. I was headed to Hallstatt, and that's where I needed to change trains. OBB has also 2 types of railjets, the Railjet and the Railjet Express. If I were going straight to Salzburg, I would have taken the Express as it has fewer stops. With my first class ticket, I had access to the OBB Lounge, which is located above the main hall. There's a nice little seating area with a view of the station. I got a coffee and a croissant, which was sadly fairly mediocre. And this is the city it was supposedly invented in. The night before, I received an email that they were running a different set of wagons with fewer first-class seats, and to contact the train attendant if I had a reservation, which I'd paid for. Boarding was signaled about 20 minutes prior to departure, and I headed over. First class is at the very end of the train, just past the dining car. Normally, there's 2.5 first-class coaches, but today there was only 1.5. I went to my assigned coach, but as warned, my reserved seat didn't exist. The train attendant said I could just sit wherever I liked, and I picked a seat in the half car next to the dining car. We pulled out just 7 seconds late. That's nearly Japanese there. Travel time to Attnang-Puchheim was 2 hours and 4 minutes. The leather seats were quite comfortable, and I selected a pair of seats with a table. There's also singles, quads, and seats designed for individuals in wheelchairs. There's a power outlet as well. There's an extensive menu to order food. While anyone can go to the restaurant car, in first and business class, an attendant supposedly can take your order and bring you your food. This was never proactively offered, but I saw an attendant running back and forth to the restaurant car. The only service that was proactively offered was a newspaper. The prices seemed quite reasonable, though it is only microwaved food in the dining car. The Railjet is not a high-speed train, but it has a top speed of 230 km per hour. Still, that's 143 miles per hour, faster than most trains in the United States, for sure. Connections information was displayed on the board, and announcements about connections were made as we approached each station. I'll talk about Wi-Fi and entertainment on the next leg. A woman came on board with my seat reserved, but indeed there apparently were no first-class seat reservations on this train, so we compromised and she sat in the otherwise empty quad. We didn't maintain 230 km per hour consistently, and there were stretches at or below 200 km per hour. I made 2 other observations as we continued the journey. People would make a beeline for the dining car because, come on, it's fun. But they'd enter the first-class car and dump their luggage there. Not a big deal, but if you're worried about luggage space, you might want to choose a different first-class car. Another neat feature of the train was the level boarding for individuals with wheelchairs. I didn't want to film it, but here's what it looks like. Pretty cool that the train is so easily handicap accessible. I've seen the same procedure on Amtrak, and it's not pretty. We arrived in Attnang-Puchheim right on time, and I changed to my regional train that still had free Wi-Fi on the trip down to magical Hallstatt. For my trip from Attnang-Puchheim to Salzburg, I was traveling in economy with no seat reservation. But you're able to pull up your train and get a sense of how crowded each car is. No idea how accurate this is, or if it's just based off of reservations. Since each train has an exact map and shows you what letter to stand at, you always know where to find your car. I boarded the quiet car and found a non-reserved seat, though sadly facing backwards. The economy seats are in a tutu and are cloth rather than leather. Still, there's power and plenty of legroom, just no footrest. Travel time to Salzburg was 48 minutes. We didn't get anywhere near 230 km per hour on this stretch, and mostly went 120 to 130. The tracks were just very windy. Wi-Fi is available for free for everyone, but it was fairly slow. There's a web portal with newspapers and some video content, and a moving map. However, in no time at all, we pulled into Salzburg. I had my fill of Mozart and the Sound of Music before heading from Austria to a beer hall in Munich. Wait, that came out wrong. Both Deutsche Bahn and OBB run the route, and I really wanted to try the RAILJET in business class for this leg. But the day of my trip marked the start of track work, and all direct trains between Munich and Salzburg were cancelled. So I had to do the one thing I wanted to avoid: take Deutsche Bahn. No. Wait. But let's briefly touch on what I would have gotten in business class on the RAILJET. To upgrade from first class to business, it costs only €15, regardless of route and destination, and comes with a seat reservation. You get either a solo seat with a bit more legroom and padding, or a seat in a small compartment. You also get a welcome beverage. And that's it, for €15. All the blogs say it's totally worth it, but for the life of me, I don't see the value. The seat reservation costs €3, so you're paying €12 for a glass of wine or soda and a slightly different seat? I don't know, I just don't get it. Feel free to tell me how wrong I am in the comments. My two connecting regional trains on Deutsche Bahn really hit home the merits of the RAILJET. A 1 hour and 32-minute trip became over 3 hours. The first train departed on time but arrived late. The second train was late on arriving and pulled into Munich 27 minutes late. The Germans on board, so used to delays, laughed it off. The difference is really night and day. Perhaps it's high time an Austrian heads over to Germany to show them how to run things. So that's the OBB RAILJET. It's not a high-speed train or remotely luxurious, but damn, I'm impressed, and you should take it without question or hesitation whenever you can. It really puts all other rail operators to shame, and serves as a model for what good, reliable rail service can be. And it's such a stark contrast with Deutsche Bahn. One might even say that one is what's up and the other
Ich don't think so.
If you want to see Via Rail try and fail a similar distance, or Brightline in Florida, you can click on those videos here. Otherwise, I'm off to all the Christmas markets before I next fly to Switzerland on their beautiful A220.